might be something that other teams look to exploit when it comes to these final few rounds. But let's get right on into the action here we have Fortune, sorry, what am I saying Fortune Stadium? Of course, this is Vegas right here. And we've got the lovely, sorry, we've got the, excuse me for a second there. We have the lovely stars on production today, feeding us replays as well. So I'm excited to see those in action. And Waltz and Burrito are duo observers, just handling those cams for us, directing us through the chaos today. So we touch base right here with Reimke, the hero of last night. Abyssal Assault in red right now, taking a fight down the stairs onto the purple squad, and they are taking casualties here as Reimke is taken down. Looks as though that is a not quite a wipe there, but it's close enough, and it's enough to force them away from the point. There's the wipe confirmed. In the meantime, the orange team have managed to get their box into cash out A. Trying to work out exactly who that is. Have they changed names since yesterday? I'm a bit confused by that. Is that Gremlin? Yeah, Gremlin in orange. So that's Scallywags, the pirates in orange.
Nice. You see a nice charge slam going off. Dome shield goes off. Never quite see cash out. No cash out is on the Team 3 team is getting chased away. It does look like Wally was able to get a lot of shots off but low health. Gremlin is following behind. He's running with Goo, running that shotgun that he always loves to go. Looks like they're going to go for cash out A, probably try and drop it from below. We see the canister is ready for it to just blow up. Not sure where they went right now. We're getting a nice view, hopefully over towards A. Cash out is on the roof, so they are going to have to either play on top of the roof or drop it. We see the orange team slowly advancing, making sure that they can kind of hold it off, but it does look pretty uncontested. It seems like the action right now is happening over at cash out B.
Yeah, but it's always interesting when you do get these 2 points so close together. There is a little bit of what I like to call cross-contamination sometimes between the two teams, or teams that are trying to approach 1 point and then smell an opportunity and another, maybe getting caught between the two. It does happen from time to time. We have the red team of Abyssal Assault holding firm on top of the hotel. They're just waiting for a moment to shoot across. They're expecting the purple team to move across beneath them perhaps, but no, they are the ones to go down first, maybe baiting a little bit of movement from them. And now we flick on over to the perspective of the Scallywags holding A. At the moment, it really is just a chicken game. No one wants to go first, and the timer is working fully in favor of the defensive squads here.
Yeah, I think that just nobody wants to go against the Scallywags. I think it's easier to just let them have it over cash out, fight over cash out B. I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So this will be an easy one for the Scallywags. And I don't think that... So if we could really watch the fighting over at B, it seems like it's pretty easy.
Okay, so here we go, the fight taking place on B, and we have the cash out over on Scallywags going just their way. They may even decide to show up as fourth party here, so keep your eye out for any orange health bars that might fly into your screen any moment now. We'll see. There they are. There's the Scallywags just doing what those pirates do best, trying to jump in and steal it for themselves. They are being taken down, though, quite efficiently here by Abyssal Assault, who are holding firm, but unfortunately it's not their cash out to defend. The pink squad, despite being wiped for that whole time, benefited from the chaos and hold on for that cash out. So basement dwellers can count their lucky stars there. And here we go, we have now the second wave of bolts in play. Already plenty of kills going the way of, it would appear to be, the Quattro squad taking out the basement dwellers. So they're not doing too well for frags right now, but they've gotten that one objective to their name, basement dwellers. This is an interesting position for them to be in. We see the red side of Abyssal Assault having tapped Vault 4, and they're under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. This is the Scallywags have gone to try and tackle D, which has been plugged successfully by Quattro squad for the time being. They are being chased. They have that jump pad set, but oh no, the building caves in beneath them, and that causes some problem. They are completely split now. Vega taking the brunt of the assault from the Scallywags, and because of that split, it means now 2 versus 3, a man down. Do wonder whether they get those raises off. No, doesn't look like they are in control of this fight at all. The healers coming through. We know just how dangerous the Scallywags can be. There we have it, the wipe finally successful, and the Scallywags will happily claim D for themselves. Perhaps we can pan on over to see what's going on the other side of the map here. Scallywags look like they're going to be remaining untouched for a little bit of time. Looks as though that other cash out has only just gotten started, plugged by the basement dwellers, Pink Squad.
And I'm back, Jerry. I don't know if this
Rio
is any...
back. Fantastic.
Yep. Hopefully it sounds better. We're trying a few things. Sounds great in Discord, but doesn't sound great on the call. So, gotta love not being able to figure out what's going on.
It's sounding better to me now, Rio, so I think we're probably in the clear.
Nice,
That's a good sign to me. Scallywags, I don't know if you missed that, just claiming D for themselves, and ahead of the pace as well. C is under the stewardship, supposedly, in theory, of the basement dwellers, but once again, they've been wiped, and they're relying on the chaos to preserve their own cash out while they're not there. In fact, they're moving towards D instead. They want to take the fair fight, 3 versus 3 against the Scallywags. So far, the Scallywags have got the better of every team that they've taken a fight to. So we'll keep an eye on Jonas. He is looking to engage with this RPG, but he doesn't have the mobility with him. At the moment, they're following close behind. A bit of a whiff with that RPG, not quite maximum damage, and there we have it. Again, the Scallywags come out on top in the fight. It's almost a foregone conclusion at this point, but here comes the third party, a very nice one, and that will be a successful steal. Will it? No. Unfortunately, am I missing something? No, they do get the steal. Fantastic work there by Abyssal Assault to take that from Scallywags just at the final moment. And that does level our playing field quite considerably, Rio.
Yeah, I'm pretty amazed at how close the scores are right now with just 2 minutes left. And it does seem like it kind of is anybody's game. Whoever gets this cash out right now at C seems like they're going to take the lead. And honestly, it's Team 4. So the scores are really close at this point. And the next 2 minutes are really going to decide who ends up taking the lead. We have one more vault that's about to get started, or are they just going to kind of fight? I'm not sure. Nobody seems close to Vault 5. So
see what happens.
Yeah. It does look like a steal might be coming in.
A last-ditch effort from Abyssal Assault. I feel like they've mistimed this, though. They don't have the time to get on that cash out and go for the steal, so maybe they're just going to have to play for frags here. As the Steamrollers in purple, of course, that is Quattro Squad. They're just going to take the safe exit out. They're going to go through the building rather than above it, avoiding that fight entirely, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, so we do see Vault 5 getting open, and there is going to be enough time to get this started again. So I'm not sure if they're going to tap the other Vault, Vault 6, but I think that we're going to see at least one more fight going off. It does seem like it might be centralized. A lot of fighting going off, 2 dome shields going down. I can't even tell what's going on in this chaos. Definitely tell the Scallywags are just kind of holding back a little bit, trying to get some kills, just maybe feeding of them.
You see a Scallywag totem right there, so it does seem as though the purple team of Quattro Squad are in a little bit more control over here. They don't have the box, though. That is the crucial thing. Or do they? No, they don't. So it's a question of who's going to move that box, and it is, in fact, the red team moving across with Abyssal Assault in control of the final cash out. They have dropped it, though. There's a bit of a skirmish here. The purple team do manage to catch right up with them. Lotus doing decent work there, avoiding the damage, and they have got the plug as well. Great work by Quattro Squad, who have come out swinging. They had a tough day yesterday, but they're making themselves... Well, they're putting themselves in a very commanding spot here. Not just top for now, but if they keep hold of this, then they'll be finishing first. As it stands, they're guaranteed at least a second place finish, unless that 6 box gets involved in things. We've got to keep our eye on that one.
Yeah, honestly, those shots from Lotus were great, and it does look like they're going to go for a double stack. So this cash out will be going for $30,000. At this point, anybody could steal and potentially win, except for the last place. So it is just going off. We see it is still up in the air.
There is a steal.
There is a steal. Who's
the
pink
steal,
team?
but unfortunately Jonas is the last one standing for pink, so he's got to hope that the 3 teams fighting over it, as is often the case, is going to be too difficult for someone to steal. But the Scallywags, they managed to get it into a really nice spot with cover and take it for themselves. As ever, the Scallywags have found a way to put themselves in a winning position.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing about their team, the Scallywags seem to be really tightly playing together. I mean, look at them. There's not even more than a person space in between them, and they're just all watching over this. They're all getting prepared. You see them getting the barrels. The steal is trying to happen.
Steal?
Oh my god. Are they going to get it?
How many steals are we going to see on this final cash out? That's unreal. And now it's Abyssal Assault that are in the ascendancy. We've seen every single team in control of this final cash out. And now with only 22 seconds left, they look like they're in control. But no, they've been wiped. And it's getting stolen back again. Who is on it now? It's the orange team. Scallywags, once more. The pirates that they are, taking control of the high seas. And now all they have to do is keep this high ground and prevent any steals themselves. It is being attempted by the pink
It's
team.
stolen
and the body
again.
block is there. They succeed. An unbelievable
Oh
turn of
my
events.
God.
6 steals back to back on the final point, and Basement Dwellers are the ones that come out on top in Vegas.
But this does look like we're going to go to Monaco, which is personally my favorite map. And it does look like we have the fog variant, or this might be the storm variant. So things will be a little harder to see for all of the teams, but it really shouldn't be that much of a challenge for these talented people. We do see the first vault and second vault being opened. Everybody's pretty split up at this point. Does look like more teams. I'm not sure the colors yet, so... and here we go. The fighting is getting started over at Vault 2, it looks like. If we could hop over there for our viewers.
Well, it looks as though, just to help our viewers as well, Purple has maintained on Quattro Squad and Red has maintained on Abyssal Assault. So I will assume that most of the colours are the same, which is handy for us, handy for you to keep track of things. You can see, of course, the red and purple teams, as mentioned, are here doing their business, almost managing to get a kill there onto the mesh shield wielding heavy, who didn't quite turn in the right direction. Unfortunately, though, for the Quattro Squad, they are getting melted gradually, bit by bit. 2 totems now stacked up on one location is never a good sign, and they can quite happily move the box towards a suspended structure. Interesting variant that we have here on Monaco.
Yeah, suspended structure makes things just a little more challenging because everything is just suspended in the air. So it is going to make it where either you have to really protect that cash out and stay close to it, or what most people opt for is they tend to try and drop it. So it does seem like the Scallywags are going to go uncontested again over at B, and they might even be making their way towards A, I think. I did see a zipline go off, and we do see the fighting going on. Interestingly enough, the cash out A is still suspended in the air, so nobody's tried to drop it just yet, and that's really not the smart thing to do. We do see another structure falling in the background, but we need to knock down that main one. Otherwise, it's just such a challenge.
The Basement Dwellers realise that they can't necessarily get that steal without taking the fight to Abyssal Assault, who are holding firm on top of this structure. That DMAT is an interesting one as well. That was put in place by the attacking team, but if anything, it opens up the angle for the defense. So I'm unsure as to what the thinking was there. Obviously, there's a possibility that they have C4 set underneath it, which is very difficult to get rid of. But we didn't say it got blown, so maybe they just want to keep it up in the air for the time being. We see right here a skirmish between the pink and purple squads. This is Hyperspeed being taken down, as well as Jonas, but that is lights out for most of the side of Basement Dwellers, and the pink squad are wiped at the moment. In the meantime as well, that's Basement Dwellers out for the count.
Reloading.
Yeah, and I think that both of these cash outs seem pretty uncontested, honestly, at this point. It does look like the teams holding them are going to hold them, and that is kind of the advantage of having it suspended, is that it just makes it that much harder to push into. So it is a little bit easier to hold it, and it makes these fights just that much harder. So we do see fighting happening on the roof. It does look like Lotus is getting a lot of damage, holding it off with his shield. His team is just waiting for the right moment. They need to move soon because they either need to bounce pad over or do something. Yep, there's the jump pad. I don't think that went where they wanted it. Nice RPG. It does get eaten by the DPS, though. Falls off and they miss it, and I think they're just going to run out of time. First cash out is done by the Scallywags.
Unfortunate overshoot there, and they do have possibly time to get on top of it, but they have to deal with the bodies in front of them as well, so that's not going to work out in their favor. They do actually do some decent work here. Lotus putting in the work with the SA-1216, and he's landing the shots, but too much is being asked of him, and he finally falls just to the chain reses that are able to be brought out by Abyssal Assault. They withstand the test of time there. Abyssal Assault with a nice healthy 13k, just behind Scallywags, who go relatively unscathed on the far side. They also managed to get a team wipe under their belts as well, the Scallywags. So, nice bit of control for both Scallywags and Abyssal Assault in this match so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've been seeing a lot from Lotus, and he seems to be doing really well as a heavy player. Those shotguns, and in that last fight that we just saw, he just survived for 10 times longer than I thought he would. And he was still getting kills, and he has some really great tracking. So, just somebody that I haven't been too familiar with, and I'm kind of impressed with just what I've seen today already. We do see the next vaults are being opened. It does look like 3 is opened by the Scallywags, 4 is opened by Abyssal Assault. And really no contestant. Nobody's kind of fighting over these at the moment. This is kind of a slower match than I'm used to. Everybody's kind of playing it just a little bit, more conservatively, I would say.
This is Scallywag taking the long route around to, across the rooftops to try and get to D, but they do spy several teams in front of them and are deciding to fire some warning shots just to make sure that they're not chased too far. This box may be falling off. A bit of an unplanned move there. It cost them a few seconds, but it looks like they'll be fine. Opts to throw it up, and this will be very handily put inside the cash box very soon. In the meantime, we see Abyssal Assault. Once again, the red team controlling the other side of the map with their suspended structure have managed to get their box in the cash out and dealing some decent damage towards the purple side of Quattro Squad, who they have a totem under their control, so they're in a solid 3 versus 2. They get their team healed up. They should be pretty comfortable here for another few seconds, maybe waiting for the coins, the Quattro Squad here, just to reassemble and try again. Again, though, it's going to be a third-party attempt here. The pink side of Basement Dwellers have been waiting their turn, and they're going to wait a little bit longer as they decide it's not the moment to strike. Up comes the jump pad. They have mounted the suspended structure and are beginning the assault, but have already lost a man down there. Hyperspeed is out for the count. Jonas does manage to gather himself a kill, and he falls. Unfortunately, that winch claw will not work out for him. And it's 2 versus 2 here between the two sides on attack and defense.
Yeah, and we're just really not seeing much movement from Basement Dwellers. They seem to be doing well in the last match, but this one... Oh, nice charge and
talk about
slam
making an entrance!
everything down. That was amazing. And the bubble right after is great, great follow-up. But the cash out is still in the air, so I'm not sure if he really got what he was hoping for.
Well, they've got the kills. They've got the kills. They're ahead in the man count against both the teams that are lingering here. They just need to find a route up. Here is a zip that has been left graciously for Vega, and they've managed to find their way on top of the point, but Abyssal Assault are still watching it from afar. This is a decent spot, though. I feel like Vega should be alright to get this steal. He has enough cover to hold on out. Doesn't hold it, and he does hold it, in fact. There we go, successful steal for the purple side. Now they only need to hold on for a little bit longer, Quattro Squad, to secure this cash out.
And there goes the drop, so everything is falling now, and now it becomes a little bit of chaos because you're trying to fight through the rubble and trying to ensure that nobody kind of sneaks in there and gets the cash out steal. It does seem like a steal is trying to happen, so I'm not sure if Quattro is able to hold it. Oh my god! Great charge, great follow-up with that heavy machine gun, and look at that, another one! Wow. Fat Man Jack goes down. He has got great aim with that LM60.
Vega doing absolute bits here. That red dot sight on the M60 does help a lot, but you know, you've got to have the gun skill to back it up, and he certainly did there. Great little catch up for the Quattro Squad as well, closing that gap between themselves and Abyssal Assault. In the meantime, we see Scallywags successfully claim their second cash out. They go untouched yet again. Everyone, it seems, is avoiding the Pirates at this moment in time on Monaco. They're just saying, you know what, they've got first place, we don't need to go and fight them, we don't need to provoke the beasts. And they're saying, yeah, we're going to take the 3v3v3 every day of the week.
Yeah, and from the Scallywag side, you just see them playing back more. Like, they know that they have such dominance here that they're not playing aggressive. They're playing really kind of defensively and letting the kills come to them. So I'm curious if we see the scoreboard at any point where everybody's lying right now. It does look like a lot of fighting is happening over Vault 5 on the rooftops. I'm not sure which teams does it. Like, the Basement Dwellers might be trying to get in there. But they are just kind of going down, getting a lot of damage dealt to them. Fighting happening in the street, on the roof, and nobody's really gone for Vault 5.
Yeah, Abyssal Assault look like they come out the team not quite on top there. And we see the purple team actually deciding to tackle the Scallywags here. This is Quattro Squad sensing an opportunity and finding a couple of frags for themselves. They may be able to take control of Vault 6, and they have indeed done just that. Interestingly, though, it looks as though Basement Dwellers are taking the fight to them. They're taking the box to them as well. They want to triple up on this final cash up.
Are we going to see a repeat of what we just saw again? I'm really rooting for Basement Dwellers to just do this again, because if they can, they have cemented themselves as just amazing. Coming in there at the last second. But they will at least get the cash if they get it into the vault, so that will help them, but they are in such a dire position that they need to do something right now.
That Met Shield's going to get, it has its work cut out for it with the whole lobby facing it down. Nice little air shots there, taken by Vega. Lamanda goes down, but there is an opportunity to get the res quite easily, presumably, unless that totem has fallen. It does seem as though they're taking their time to get this res, so maybe he is in an unfavourable position. 2 versus the rest for the side of Quattro Squad here under the cosh. They do get that third player back up and in the fight, and the question is right now, of the rest of the 3 teams, who bites first? Because they're not likely to withstand the power of every other team in the lobby, sandwiching them between the defensive and the offensive. And at the moment, it looks like most of them have suffered casualties as well. They're all struggling. In fact, this 5th box has not made its way, interestingly enough, into that final cash out. It's just being moved around, being ferried around for no particular reason. And that is the round over. So nowhere near as chaotic a final point as we saw on Vegas. Instead, Quattro Squad are quite happy to sit back and watch the other teams twiddle their thumbs at the end. Platform if it happens to spawn on it, so it just makes it unplayable. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay. So it just means that we have to reset the lobby. But yeah, looks like that hasn't happened here. And is that an under construction variant I see? Oh my god, it is. Happy day.
Extra cranes, you gotta love them. We do see the fighting going off already. Vault 1, I'm not sure if it's been tapped yet. It does look like it's been tapped because one team already has 1,000. But the fighting is happening on the roof and in the under construction areas. I'm not really sure the colors just yet.
Does seem we've had some color swapping right now. So the red team right now is basement dwellers. They were previously in pink, and we will take a moment, both you and Diarrheo, just to adjust our notes so that we don't lose ourselves in the bits of the chaos. Orange team, this is Rezus and Co going down to the likes of my book just fell over. Of the basement dwellers, as previously mentioned. There they go, out for the count. A very early wipe against the orange team.
We do see a stack going off immediately, so the very first cash out is going to be going for 22,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is very unexpected for the first because it just forces everybody to just go into one area. You see them going on top of the crane, but I'm betting that this crane gets blown up pretty much immediately as soon as any team starts to make their advance. I'm a little confused why it's taking so long. There we go. Here we go. Purple team is hopping in there. But you can see that Sync is just right on top of where they need to be. Gremlin and his whole group just up there. They have such a vantage point. They really could just take this until somebody takes down this crane.
Yep, Scallywags on top of the mast here with control of the point, and like you say, it is a double header rather. Down goes that crane, so now they don't have quite as good high ground, but they do still have control over the under construction area. And in come the red squad of basement dwellers. They deal a decent amount of damage there, but one of them does get melted quite quickly. Interestingly, abandoning ship right here are the Scallywags, just to rotate and get the jump pad up on the my compass is blocked by the overlay. I think that's like the eastern side, if I'm not mistaken, of the map. Yeah. They're going to come in from the side, and they are met head-on by Vega. This is Quattro Squad in purple, doing quite nicely here. Full HP, and they do seem to be winning this fight quite convincingly. Down goes the medium, though, and Lotus doing some massive damage. We've highlighted him as a star player on their side, and he's continuing to put the damage up, but unfortunately, he's not good enough, and the Scallywags will come out on top. In the meantime, though, the orange side, that must be Abyssal Assault, are taken.
They were able to just get in there and get the steal while everybody was distracted.
Oh, basically. And another steal.
What just happened?
The basement dwellers have taken it for themselves.
All right, good job, basement dwellers.
Abyssal Assault must have just been, they didn't get wiped, so they must have just been pushed back and taken out, maybe down to their last man, unable to defend it. And, well, that's a hefty sum of 14k going the way of the basement dwellers.
Yeah, and that's just the chaos that you get when you double down. And I'm not sure why they made the choice to bring it over there and double it down. Maybe it was closer and they just wanted to get the cash just for putting it in. But really interesting choice for that first fight, because you can see just the discrepancy in the cash totals right now. And this is just what happens. We don't have two teams that are leading. We have two teams that are kind of trailing. And really just kind of one leader, and that's the basement dwellers at this point. Rooting for the basement dwellers because they didn't have a great performance in the last match, so hopefully they can kind of redeem themselves in this one. It does look like they're going to bring it over to Cash Out C.
You're always a fan of the underdog, aren't you, Rio? Like, you want them to come back just so that we have a really entertaining final match where, you know, 3 teams, any of them could go through. That's what we're looking at right here, if the basement dwellers win this map.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to play, you know, because you get some really, you know, people that are really passionate and really just wanting to win. So yeah, that's why I always root for the underdog. But anyway, it does look like Gremlin's in a great position. Great hook, pulls out the other heavy. He's doing damage with that shotgun, staying on top of all of the fighting, and it does seem that He throws C4 down. His team is leaving, maybe to just give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
They just want that re-engage, right? They've got the jump pads. The jump pads are really nice for engaging, and they can get back up to the building using those. So they're just finding breathing room. And like you say, the orange side this here is... they seem one of them changed their names since yesterday. It keeps throwing me off. This is Abyssal Assault. Well, they're taking a bit of flack here right now, as the most of Scallywags that can actually get through the hole to fight them are doing so. STNK's having a little bit of trouble there, not able to get through himself. I believe that is Salvo or perhaps a sub. I need to get some clarification on whether that is a sub or not. Maybe in the break. It's just thrown me off a few more times than I'd like, just because we've had different names yesterday to today. But either way, they are still in control of this point, and lots of teams now gathering on the under construction area. It's probably a good thing for Scallywags, because they're going to benefit from this team fight going on between the two. Oh no! Bumps on the top, his frame kit, down it goes. Unbelievable.
Very unfortunate, yeah. And it does seem like the Scallywags are going to walk away with this one. They already have such a commanding lead, and if they're able to get this other 20,000... And did we miss a stack? Because I don't see the other vault, and I assume that it's going for 20k, so I assume it was stacked again. So these people are mad, and they just want to fight everybody all at once. Because 4 teams on 1 point, just way more fun.
There's another reason why I love this particular variant. You get this more often than not, is people stacking on top of it. And interestingly now, Abyssal Assault...
Oh, the bounce pad!
Oh wow, what a bounce pad, unbelievable. And I think that may have just done enough to delay the steal, and that is good enough for the Scallywags. Fantastic. That was probably a Wally pad. Not gonna lie, he's done that before, we've seen it a few times. Dropping the pad on top of the point. Beautiful with the DMAT. And yeah, that's done enough. He's given the Scallywags a commanding lead. We've gotten very used to saying that over here.
Yeah, well, and just that strategy that we just saw, it's such a beautiful strategy in a game like this, where you can demat the cash out as somebody's stealing it down to a perfectly placed bounce pad, and it shoots it up in the air. I love the logic and the amount of prep that has to go into that in just such a fast-moving game like this. It's so cool, and I love to see it move like that. Just as we're getting set up, just like Vault 5 is being opened. Vault 6 seems like it's untapped. We do have 2 minutes left in this match, so it still could go either way, but it does look like the Scallywags have pretty commanding lead. But
now, Basement Dwellers had the opportunity to go to the hospital with that, but instead they've taken it to D and got on the plug straight away. Maybe banking on the fact that, again, it can be easier to hold a point in the center of all this chaos. Some great shots being shot there by Fat Man Jack. Unfortunately, his team have fallen around him. Jonas and Hyperspeed going down for the count, but there is a very short window of time it takes to recover in this game mode, and it means that the respawn is an option for them in just a few seconds. They still have control of the point, and they can guard it from afar. Unfortunately, though, it looks as though the steal is being initiated by the orange squad. This is Quattro's squad who have secured it for themselves. They've got a gas canister right on top of it as well. Only a minute and a half left, and they will be in a decent position. However, unfortunately for them, they're going to need to get more cash in play for this to matter. So that's why they're heading all the way over to 6 to try and get this plug. But it means they've abandoned ship, and the steal can come right back from the Basement Dwellers.
Yeah, and we're down to the last minute, so either they're going to stack it, and actually we're into the last 10 seconds, so the other cash out goes away in the last minute. So they are forced to stack this, but it does become the first team to get it put in there. We'll get that first 25% of the money. So in a game as close as this, they really need to get it in there. With Vault 6, you can see the fighting that's just happening over this one little vault. Nobody...
If the Scallywags could throw this in the box, then they guarantee themselves first place. But I think they're playing very passive right now, and they're not going to risk it. In fact, maybe they spell an opportunity. No, they're going in for the kills, and they're getting them, to be fair. Right now, who has control of the box? It's the Scallywags. They could actually guarantee themselves a first place no matter what. In fact, they've done that with the kills regardless. So they decide...
Oh, they're running away with it.
They run away. The kills were enough for them. They're like, yep, this is box. This is our box. We don't need it. Let everyone else fight over D. 30 seconds left. Who is going to get that second place spot? In fact, it doesn't really matter who steals it right here. Purple team are going for it. It's meaningless. Quarter squad get wiped anyway in their attempt. This is a guaranteed second place for the Basement Dwellers. They have done enough with their movements, with their frags throughout the game, and of course that early cash out, the very first one we saw, making a big difference. They get the second, or the last one as well, just for good measure, and this game will peter out quite quietly after all that drama.
Oh, but look at that. They were so close to putting it into B. Did you see that?
Yeah,
they were actually throwing to get it started. But that's amazing. Well done, Basement Builders. I don't know what happened in Monaco where you just had such a low performance, but this is what I love to see. They were able to bring themselves, and yeah, I think that we're going to see some really good gameplay getting started here.
Alright, let's get stuck into it. I'm not even going to attempt to do live maths during this game. All I will say is that it's worth bearing in mind that Quattro squads, who are most likely in purple, we will have to see. They were in purple before. They are the team that are ahead of the rest of the pack in that second place position. Right now we get this early engagement between the pink and purple squads because pink are basement dwellers. So we have had some colour changes, so excuse us while we catch on up during this, but they have come out on top in this in this early fight, getting that team wipe as well. Great for the kill points, and unfortunately an early disconnect for Remka means that he'll be having to get back in during the course of this. We do have a pause in play now to allow that to happen. Let's just take stock of this moment though. The pink team of Fatman Jack Hyperspeed and Jonas with this box, the basement dwellers, they are going to get towards point A quite quickly, and yeah, they'll be in control. Looks as though on the other side we have the red team. In fact, could we just hold that scoreboard up on the screen? That would be really handy for us casters, just to kind of get things back in action. Although, okay, never mind, they've got the reconnect, so we won't have that respite for a second. Vega in pink, so that'll be the Quattro squad in in red. Yep. So Quattro squad in red, and then we have being wiped, that was
Abyssal Assault.
Abyssal Assault in purple, leaving the Scallywags in orange. Fantastic. Right. All right, ready when you are. Of course, they're not waiting for us. They wouldn't do they wouldn't do that. They would hold up. They're going to hold up the lobby just to make sure everyone is ready. Going through for every team and saying, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, we are. And eventually, once we got ready for everyone, they'll give a countdown and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I love the fact that there is a pause, and it's a hard pause too. It just like immediately freezes everybody, as we can see. So it's really great that Embark is working on kind of the features for these private matches that we use so heavily. So it's a really great feature that they've added recently. We just see the fighting getting started again, and Gremlin's team is running away. We see the bounce pad going off from SDK. And he's just getting shot from 3 different places. You can see 3 arrows going up, and yeah, it's no surprise that he went down in that fight. Does look like both cash outs A and B, have gotten started. I'm not entirely sure.
It would be Quattro Squad and the Basement Dwellers having those. So Quattro Squad in red having... Oh, sorry, that is an orange. In fact, that's a steal that was successful there from orange. So they must have won that fight. And Wally getting the kill. Scallywags now in control of B, and the pink side of Basement Dwellers in control of A. It looks like Basement Dwellers are going to have to deal with 2 sides coming to fight against them right this second. They are holed up in this library area, the green portion of the map. I do love Sister Horizon because it's very easy to get your call outs when you're, mid-game. You say, oh, they're in green, they're in purple, they're in pink. There's nice block colours for every single building.
Yeah, well, then I want to point out how close both of these cash outs are. They look like they're within like 100 meters of each other. So everybody's fighting over at B, but they can pivot really closely, really quickly to cash out A. A lot of fighting going on, shotguns going off everywhere. You saw the grenade, and the DMAT tried to drop the grenade down. He wasn't able to. We do see that the cash out B is now falling down where you would like it dropped initially.
Scallywags are a man down, and there was an attempted steal there for just a brief moment by the purple team, but now the pinks have dropped on top of them. Unfortunately, though, for Fatman Jack and co, they are suffering casualties. Jonas going down to very low HP, and in all of that chaos, the Scallywags have managed to regroup, reconnect to defend their point. Jonas looks like he's done and dusted here. The melee swings come out, and he's finally dealt with. It's not quite a wipe. We had perhaps a coin on that side to keep those teams in the running, but at the moment the purple side of Abyssal Assault have managed to sneak their way towards the site and get the steal going their way. Unfortunately, it looks as though the Scallywags were torn apart there. There's still at least one of them up to try and recover and get back towards this site quickly, but I don't think they have the time. It looks as though both A and B will be successfully held by the teams of Basement Dwellers and Abyssal Assault, respectively. Both chucking themselves up to tie first place.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, but Abyssal Assault is running the sledgehammer again. So
yes!
So we are seeing some different gameplay, and I love to see it. So let's root for Abyssal Assault to get some sledgehammer kills in there. But looking at the scores, it does seem like it's a little, I don't know, lacking in the bottom two teams. They really need to kind of step up their game because, yeah, it is just not going the way that they intend. But we see that, yeah, Vault 4 and Vault 3 haven't been tapped just yet. I'm not sure why. It does seem like they're taking their time to set up. They went past Vault 4 and are going to Vault 3 now, so they must have some strategy. It must be closer to a cash out. It might be a little easier for them to get to.
Some grander plans. They are actually setting up at C, it would seem, to try and guard against anything later on. Vault 3 tapped by the red team of Quattro Squad. They are promptly abandoning it, taking the high ground to try and get this team fight onto the Scallywags. They do not succeed here. Walio getting away with his life, and he will start to rekindle some of that health, but no, he touches the flame, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for him. He spies the pink team just behind him and decides, oh no, I've got to get out of here. Doesn't get out in time. Maybe that lack of a self-heal was going to cost him there, and the Scallywags are getting torn apart. Great wipe there coming through from the basement dwellers, and that's going to give them a lot of control here. Plenty of kill points, and they get to move that box towards C, but this is exactly where Abyssal Assault are sitting and waiting for them.
Yeah, and we did see a wipe go off from the Scallywags, so, you know, I'm not sure that they're really dominating in this map just yet. We do see, wow, there's already a setup at C. They were able to get it put in, but a steal looks like it's going off immediately from Raimkey.
Yeah, they have the kills. Fatman Jack, the last one standing on that pink team. Obviously, you know, you have the opportunity to deny, but the smarter play is to just head for the hills, wait for those respawns to come in. The coin spent by Hyperspeed and Jonas now. So, a delivery made to the Abyssal Assault Squad in purple. Purple team, let's go. You know, we're rooting for the sledgehammer now. So, yeah, great plan and set up by them, just avoiding the chaos and setting up to steal, and it's worked for them. Here we go, the Scallywags getting into yet another fight. Of course, you mentioned that they're not dominating. They haven't dominated today the same way that they did yesterday, but they don't necessarily need to. They already have that first place under their belt. Right now, Fatman Jack finding an opening, finding two teams fighting in front of him, and he's going in deep, and he will be able to secure the kill onto that Lotus. That is Basement Dwellers suffering there. No, sorry, that is Quattro Squad, in fact, being wiped out, and they're the team that were in second place overall before this match, and they are the ones that are lagging behind on Cis Horizon.
Yeah, and Fatman Jack had some amazing kills there. He was able to get behind two teams and get 3 kills, so that was really impressive without taking a single bit of damage. So we see Raimkey getting his team set up for B. See the gas going down. Oh, and the vault is moving at C. I'm not sure how they did that. Something with the door and it pushed it? I don't know. That was interesting, but they are going to get the steal down. And now they just have to hold it for about 25 seconds. So it does look like they're in a good spot for the basement dwellers, actually.
Great spot, but they have got a lot of heat coming their way. All the other teams deciding that they want to go on at that point and decide to get the steal and then not have to defend it. That's what you get to do when you've got such a low timer. Dome shields come out, plenty of them. Double DMAT to drop down on everyone. Landing shots is Wally. He gets 1, he gets 2. Can he finish the second? No. That big player helps him out, but he finishes him off anyway. And can he get in for the steal? No. He decides not to commit to that because he sees an enemy. And I think that might have been a misstep by the Scallywags. You've got to get in there early. He's left STNK 2K to try and go in for it, and the timer just wasn't on their side. Wallio, what happened there, mate?
Like 1 more second and he would have got it. Yeah, I think that they're maybe going for more kills. I don't know. They're trying to get kill points instead. I had a feeling that this would be a really heavily, you know, kill-focused match, just because it's going to be so close with the cash points.
In a situation like that, I have to shout at Wallio really and say, you know, you got to put your body on the line for the team there, mate. I know it's important to you to stay alive and get those frags, but that was an opportunity missed by the Scallywags because of that. Here we have the purple team of Abyssal Assault holding on to D and holding on firm with that sledgehammer, ready to engage no matter what. The shield comes out, closes the gap. Gremlin is taken out immediately. Doesn't expect the sledgehammer to come through, but Raimkey is the last one standing, and he's wiped out. Abyssal Assault unfortunately forgo that cash out, and Scallywags make up for their previous error, getting that steal. Now, let's take stock for a moment. We have Scallywags in second place. The pink team out in front is Basement Dwellers in first place. That would put them in a very commanding spot in the overall scoreboards. Abyssal Assault in purple in third, and the Quattro Squad in red in last place. They only need a second place finish to guarantee themselves progression, or at least make themselves in a very good spot to progress if Scallywags finish first, for instance. And at the moment, they're languishing behind in fourth, so it's all to play for. Everyone, anyone could make their way through right now. orange team of Scallywags in control of this vault, making their way towards the site, and A is plugged for the final minute and 30.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like the Scallywags are going to take it at the end, but are we going to see the second vault? Yeah, the Vault 6 is being opened, so if they can get it over there in the next minute, you know, we can see a stack, and then it could be anybody's game, literally, because you have 30,000 plus inside the vault. We do see Remke running at him with the sledgehammer, can't get the kill. Really tried, though. Good sledgehammer swings. You see a lot of third teaming happening right now over this Vault 6. But yeah, I don't think they're going to have time to get it in at this point.
55 seconds. They are going to try it. In fact, Scallywags are going for it, which is interesting because, you know, if they get this plug, then that's fine for them. If other people can control this vault and get the plug money, then that is a huge portion, 7k, which could swing the tide in their favor. But of course, Scallywags are playing smart. They're abandoning ship. In fact, they're not going to even play for this final vault, which means that it's all up to the last three teams to try and hold on to this. Vega getting the res on El Manda, and this is the red team of Quattro Squad in control of the final point. Huge for them as they are the team in second overall. If they can hold on to this, it will be massive. But the kills are not working in their favor. They're so far behind that they would only get a third place finish here with this cash out. Pink team of Basement Dwellers are ahead with 9 seconds left. They're going in for the kills. They just want those kills. That's all they want. They're not going to play the objective here. Get those kills. That is the agenda. A trade comes out, and unfortunately, it is a round over. That is the end of Group D. Scallywags once again claiming a map for themselves. But the big question on everyone's lips, once they're at last. Yeah. Oh, it could be anyone. It could be anyone. It's Quattro Squad by 1 point.
Oh my god. No. Basement Dwellers. Oh, dang. Sorry, Basement Dwellers. Y'all did a great job. Y'all had a great fight. Y'all came just close enough. But yeah, Quattro Squad still had a great performance as well. And they obviously very well earned their second place amongst the Scallywags. But just let me take a second and break this down and show that it is nearly 40 points difference between the Scallywags and Quattro. So first to second is half of the score of the bottom two teams. So that's amazing. Going forward and going into next week, Scallywags are going to be the team to beat